Oh hey, it's me, Captain America. Is the joke old yet? I don't know, this is my second time. Okay guys. What's up? Colin the Big Yoshi here. And welcome to day, I want to say 9. I'm pretty sure it's 9. Yeah. So today we're going to be reviewing Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So, the plot of this movie is that after the Avengers, Steve has been doing some undercover work with S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's kind of getting sick of it because he doesn't want to be like Fury's puppet anymore. And then him and Black Widow have to go off the grid because Steve gets framed for Nick Fury's death. And then they discover that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been basically infected by Hydra, the super secret society, from the first film. So yeah. And then they have to like go beat up the bad guys, So I think that my favorite thing about this movie is that it's a political thriller and it's very refreshing, and it gives it a unique feel because it's kind of darker than the other ones. And it's kind of like, it's not really gritty, but it's like, it's definitely a spy thriller. And I like it because of that. It's not really my genre of choice, but I like it. So, I also like that there's some new characters in this movie, and they actually appear in more than just this movie, and that's pretty cool. I really like Falcon, and a lot of people don't like him because they feel like he's just there as Captain America's sidekick. But I think that, yeah, in the other movies, kind of, but in this movie, they actually give him like a little bit of a character arc. They talk about how his buddy died while they were on a mission, and how he's like a speaker for something. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but he speaks to people about their problems, so that's nice. And it actually is kind of like what Steve does in Endgame. Also, he's just kind of nice to have there as an extra superhero. And then they also introduce a couple other characters like Agent Rumlow, and he's basically just a S.H.I.E.L.D. guy, but he's also a Hydra guy, and he's trying to kill Steve the entire movie. And he doesn't seem that interesting, but like, I just like how they made him into a like actual supervillain later. In the beginning of Civil War, he turns into Crossbones, so that's kind of cool. They also introduce Sharon Carter into the story, and she's not really that important. She's just like a little bit of a side character, but she's fine. She's just a spy, and she appears in Civil War as well to help out Steve, so that's cool. And I also like this movie because it expands on other characters like most MCU movies do. It expands on Cap a little bit because it shows us how he has adapted to modern times in the humorous little scene where he shows his list of stuff that he has to get caught up on. And Bucky as well. He probably gets the most character growth, I think, just because you find out that he's not dead. And, he's just not dead. And he was kind of hypnotized, and he's hypnotized by Hydra. And Steve has to fight him even though he's his friend, so that's kind of sad, I guess. And I think that it also expands on Black Widow a lot. In the other movies, she was fine. She was just kind of a side character, but she's one of the main characters in this movie, and she's pretty good in this one. Like it kind of makes me like her a bit more. I still don't love her, but it makes me like her a bit more. She's just fun in this movie, and we get some like other details about her as well. We always get details about her sprinkled in, and we get a lot of them in this movie. We also get introduced to Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce, and he's a pretty good villain. Like, he's not one of the guys that's going to go out and, like, try to shoot Captain America, but he is definitely, like, a pretty threatening villain because he frames Steve for the death of Nick Fury, and he hires the Winter Soldier and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And all of these actors are doing a great job, once again. Yeah, like most MCU films, honestly. We also get some more details about Nick Fury, and that he doesn't really trust anybody, and we get some details about how he loses his eye and stuff. But in Captain Marvel, we all know how he loses his eye, so yeah. Now let's talk about like some specific character changes. I like how the friendship between Natasha and Steve kind of grows a little bit, and later in Civil War, that's why Natasha kind of hesitates to fight Cap in the first place. And I also like how all the interactions with Cap and Nick Fury, they just kind of clue you into Fury's personality more, and it shows that he doesn't really like or trust Nick Fury still, which is pretty realistic. And obviously we have to talk about the scene where he first finds out that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, and he just gets stunned, and he just lets himself get arrested because he's just so stunned that he can't even, like, he just can't even function right. I like how in the after credit scene as well, Bucky kind of figures out his identity a little bit better, so that's fine. I think he kind of remembers everything, so that's cool. And also, this whole movie just gives Steve a new outlook on being a hero, which is great because he realizes that not all of his villains and heroes are black and white, and he's like, well, you know, Hydra's dead, like their organization is dead. I stopped them, but then he's like, wait, no, my enemy is also my friend because Shield is Hydra. And he figures out like the Zola AI was made by Shield as well, so yeah. Some character thing that I kind of don't like that much is having Peggy still alive. Because I feel like, and obviously, the Cosmonaut Variety Hour has said this in his video about Phase 2. He says that it doesn't make sense because why have her in the movie when she could be dead, and then the relationship between him and Bucky become a lot stronger because of that. And I agree, like, that just makes sense. But then at the same time, I mean, we get clarification on what happened to her, and it's sad and everything, because she has, like, Alzheimer's, so, like, he can't really talk to her the same way, obviously. Something that I really like about this movie is all of the action scenes. They kind of blend together a little bit, some of them, but I think they're all pretty great. I love the Fury scene, like, in his car. That's a pretty great scene. And it has a little bit of, like, because it's mixed with, like, a chase scene as well as his death, subversion stuff. And, yeah, he just, like, well, actually, no, the death subversion isn't until later, but, and it's also just kind of, like, intriguing to watch because it's like, is he going to get away? Is he going to die? Or would they kill off Nick Fury? And obviously, the famous elevator scene. Everyone knows that scene is great. I don't even have to say anything about it. It's just a great scene. Probably why they brought it back in Endgame. I like that battle on the bridge as well, where they have to try to escape from their broken car because the Winter Soldier ripped off the car door. That's pretty great. And in the final battle, that one's great as well, on top of the helicarrier, because I love this part because there's a part where both of the villains get the upper hand, and they think like pretty perfectly, so it's great. And it's just an emotional kind of payoff, I guess, because Steve will not fight Bucky, and Bucky throws him into the water, and Bucky saves him. And I guess the last thing that I wanted to talk about, there's a lot of subtle little references that I kind of like, connections to other movies. There's a reference to Iron Man 3. It's not really a reference, it just shows that the continuity has done good, I guess. Has been doing good because the president from Iron Man 3, President Ellis, is on the wall in the museum that Captain America, or the Captain America museum. I like how they kind of gave us a little surprise about how the senator from Iron Man 2, he's actually part of Hydra, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, and then they set up Doctor Strange as well. And they also set up Civil War, and they set up Age of Ultron. And I guess here's just a few last things about the ending and stuff, and this one complaint I have. So, I really like how it shows what happens to everybody after the final battle, like Maria Hill joining Stark Industries, Natasha going and having to change her whole identity basically, Nick Fury going on another mission, just not part of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he takes off his eye patch, so that's cool. I guess he just doesn't want to be all mysterious anymore, I don't know. So yeah, here are my 2 complaints about this movie. It glosses over this part where they get Falcon's wingsuit, and I feel like that would have been good if they had an extended cut, because I think that would have been an interesting scene. I don't know why, I just think it would be. And I think that the Winter Soldier, for the name of the movie, I don't think he's in the movie enough. He's only in the fight scenes. But I guess that makes sense, so whatever. So yeah, this was a great movie. It's just not my favorite genre of all of them. So personally, I think I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. So yeah, if you guys liked my video, then maybe leave a like and subscribe. That'd be pretty radical. Oh yeah. Has the joke gotten old yet? I don't know. Tell me in the comments, I guess. So yeah, tomorrow we're gonna move on to Guardians of the Galaxy, the one that everybody loves. So yeah. Bye guys.